Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from junk drawer, kids' room, garage, one of them. And this is for the narrative lectionary, and we are tying it to an item from the Dollar Tree, kind of. I'm going to have an item where you can hand out to the kids or have the kids take. If you're meeting in person, and if you're not, you can still use the first part of this because the first part of the children's sermon is the core, and then the handout is the reminder. So this is God writing the law upon our hearts, and God gave the commandment, God gave the law, as Jeremiah says, or as God says to Jeremiah, gave them the law which they broke, or the covenant which they broke. So the item I'm using is a piece of paper that's cut to be like two tablets. It looks kind of like the Ten Commandments. That's the idea. That it's like God gives us a covenant. God makes God makes this relationship with us, and I'm gonna use the Ten Commandments to talk about that. So I've got the two stone tablets that for the Ten Commandments, but we're reminded, God reminds us through Jeremiah, God reminds us that we broke that commandment. And so got these are cut together, in the shape, and I have these folded. And the reason I have them folded is for two reasons. One is that it makes it look like more like the two tablets, but also it facilitates the tear. It helps the tear. So you got that, and you tear it like that, and which they broke. They broke. But we hear that God is going to make a new covenant. God makes a new promise with us that writes that promise, that covenant upon our hearts, where God takes the commandments, takes the covenant that we broke, and makes a new one, and writes it upon our heart. And that's the idea. It creates a heart, and from the commandments that we broke into the new heart, and talking about writing it upon our hearts, and then you go into there. So that's the springboard of using that. And they have in the teacher section, in the teaching tree, the learning, the Dollar Tree's educational section, they have hearts. These red hearts where you can then, at the end, you can hand them out. You can either write on this side, or you could write on this other side, you are loved, or God's promise, something to let them know that this is God's new promise and writing it upon our hearts. So that is the springboard, and where I'm going with. So cutting out, and it can be a 3x5 card, that can be a small piece of paper, it doesn't matter, but you're there, and I folded again. I folded a couple of times to help the tear go straight down, and then it's just together holding it like that, and it makes the shape of a heart. I think it's pretty cool. So hope that can be useful for you in your own children's sermon. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you are having a wonderful week. This is July 4th, and so if you need a nod, if you need something to tie, not even tie in, but if you're in the United States and talking about July 4th and Independence Day, you could come out with wearing this, and it's my happy birthday, and when you walk out, you're like, oh, is it someone's birthday today? What? Oh, and that's the nod, and it, so you recognize it. But I'm not we're looking at Jeremiah, and we're looking at that text, and for the children's sermon, using the broken covenant into a restored heart. So, all right, peace, and I will see you next time.